Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm filming a lot of them today, so hence the glasses right now. Keep my eyes a little fresher. We are in Redbeard's account today. He pulled a Runekeeper Durzdak. I don't know. I'll look at the name when we come up to him. But Runekeeper is going to be an amazing champion. Actually, I think so. Haven't tried him yet. We're going to be doing this fresh, just like I've been doing with all these new champions. Haven't really had a chance to play with them before I record these things. So we're all looking at it for the first time, just like you guys. Should be exciting. I'm really excited about this champion. He brings a lot to the table. Increased attack buff. He brings turn meter boosts, he brings healing and a cleanse, he brings a lot of stuff, not to mention a leech as well. I actually think that this is a champion that could be used in a lot of different areas of the game, including clan boss, but it's going to depend on the priorities of the skills and how you tune them. So I don't have any tunes set up for you guys, and I'm probably not going to bring him in the clan boss. What I would like to do though is I do want to see exactly how he looks, so we're going to take him into the dungeons just to see which skills he prioritizes, how he hits, and that sort of thing, and then we're going to go ahead and take him into the arena, which I know is going to be a spot that he should be useful at. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Let's look at the champion, I guess, first. Okay, guys, this is Runekeeper Durzdak. There it is. I'm really loving him. I love the little, like, dwarvish Torah on the back of him with the rolled-up scroll. I think that's awesome. He's got the sweet mace and all that gold on him. He looks cool. I just like him. Generally, the dwarves are actually looking pretty dope. But in any case, we have, obviously, the gear's not maxed, right? Where it's kind of fresh stuff. We've got some speed, we've got some HP, we've got some divine. I think it's actually a pretty solid combo. You can kind of see the stats we have here. 184, solid speed. 33,000 defense is good. Almost 60,000 HP is solid as well. Not a lot of crit rate or crit damage. I don't see him being a heavy damage dealer, even if he can hit hard. He only has one skill that actually attacks. So much like Lodric Falconheart, I don't think he's going to be a great damage dealer. I don't feel like we need to actually test that out. As far as his masteries go that we have in here, he's been built out with support and defense. Now, if I don't like these builds, I'll go ahead and redo it. But actually, I don't see this being a problem. We're hitting some key spots here. We're getting all the way down here to Cycle of Revenge, which is going to give us a turn meter boost. I think that's important for arena and dungeons and stuff like that. And then we're coming down the support tree to just improve the healing that we have. Those are the skills that I think are most important. Outside of that, you can kind of mix and match. All these defensive skills, they're going to help you stay alive. So you can kind of mix and match how you feel that's going to be most beneficial for you. Are you more worried about crits? Are you more worried about resistance? You can choose those things and make that your goal. But I think this is fine. I see no issue with this build whatsoever. We could go down more support tree stuff too. We could get things like rapid response to get more turn meter when buffs, that increased attack buff falls off. I think that might be a good thing. We get Cycle of Magic to go through these skills faster. We could get Lore of Steel so that the stats that we have on our artifacts are boosted even further. All of those I think are valid possible choices. But this is fine. I think this is good. It's not worth spending the gems to reset it. So we're going to go ahead and stick with that. Now, the one thing we should talk about are the skills. He has a leech on his A1 skill, which is pretty dope skill. That's really great, especially for things like clan boss, dungeon bosses. That's always really nice because it gives you healing naturally. We also have an increased attack buff on his A2, and then it gives a turn meter increase for all allies of 25%. So everybody gets increased attack, and then he boosts their turn meter. What that means is Durzdak is actually a pretty solid speed booster for your arena team on his own. So let's say you don't have an Arbiter. Well, Durzak's pretty much doing what Arbiter does for you. Arbiter gives you I think it's a 30% turn meter boost, as well as a increased attack buff. We can see it right here, actually. This is the skill we use first. 30% turn meter boost and a 50% increased attack. Well, with Durzdak, we're not getting a 30%, we're getting a 25%. It's almost the same, very close, and we're getting that increased attack buff, except the difference, he's an epic champion. I mean, that's a pretty notable skill, I think, for an epic champion to be able to have that right there and just bring him right into arena. That's great. And then his A3 removes all debuffs from all allies, heals all allies 25% of this champion's max HP. That's a big heal. And places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns if they have a debuff removed. This is great, guys. This is really nice. Now, obviously, the conditional on the continuous heal, not my favorite thing. But The fact that you are cleansing everybody is great. That means you can bring him into arena. You can bring, for especially for like the dragon, you can bring him into into dungeons for like dragon or even spiders. You can bring him into arena. I think he's going to be really useful in a lot of places just because of that. So that's really great. He has an ally attack in all battles by 25% too. That's actually a pretty strong aura right there. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's stronger than Septimus's. You tell me how that makes sense. Let's bring him into dungeons first and see how that works. And then we will take him into the arena and kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and start with the auto. My guess is he's going to do the turn meter boost first. Champions tend to prioritize speed over everything else. Nobody has any debuffs anyway, so it'd be kind of weird to do the cleanse. So let's see what happens here. Yep, increase attack and turn meter boost on everybody. That's a really good skill. If he prioritizes that, he continues to prioritize that, that's actually phenomenal for us. That would be the most optimal option here for us. We lost one. That's why we have Arbiter in here, to help revive those guys. So let's see. Now that A1 is gone. Okay, so we're getting some boost from kills. All right, so now it's the A1 or the A3. We don't have any debuffs, so he's going to go for the A1. So good to know there for sure. Let's see how this works out here. Now I'm really curious how he's going to use, if he's going to use the cleanse, if he's going to use the heal. Goes right back to that turn meter boost with that A2 ability, which is great. If we can get a debuff on one of our champions, it would be nice to just see. Oh, there's that heal right there. Okay, did use the heal. Excellent. So I think he's a really good champion for this. Now, is dungeon my favorite spot to bring him in? Not necessarily, but it's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Let's do one of these and see. This way Arbiter can keep everybody alive and just kind of see how this works. He does the same thing. They're going to do the same skill, get him this turn meter boost. It is a prioritized skill by most champions here, so it makes sense. Because there's no debuffs, nobody's hurt, he's not going to use the heal. I am interested to see what happens if we get debuffed, how he uses that. In fact, next time he comes around, we're going to pause his turn, make sure he has everything off cooldown here. He has everything available. We're just going to A1 right now. You know, 7,600 damage, non-crit is not bad, guys. It's definitely not a bad amount of damage right there. All right, so now we have debuffs on ourselves. Now I want to see which skill are we prioritizing. We have both of them available, both the turn meter and the cleanse. What's he going to do? Does the turn meter. So the turn meter skill is going to be the prioritized skill 100% for this guy. That is really good to know. That means he's going to be really useful in clan boss, guys. I'm not saying he's a seeker replacement, but being able to have that turn meter boost on a 3-turn cooldown makes it regular, makes it something that we can predict. And if you can predict it, then you can speed tune it. And that's going to be really important. So I think he's going to be, that could make him phenomenal for clan boss. Now obviously the cleanse might not be on a regular turn because of that, but we have that available and it still provides a massive amount of healing, not to mention the leech buff. There's a lot to like about this kit right here. So I'm really intrigued about this one, honestly. I think he could be extremely good for clan boss teams. I'll be interested to see somebody build a 2-1 team using him. Maybe even like a 3-1 team using him. I think he fits that kind of mold very well. So we'll have to obviously see how that boils down, but very interesting. And he's a really good champion. I mean, you're looking to bring somebody in dungeons to speed tune your team, keep your team alive. I think he's actually going to be quite good. His heal's significant. His cleanse is great. And that turn meter boost is awesome. Not to mention the increased attack is really good. I could see, especially if you have Ultimate Gaelic, he's going to be an excellent option for spiders. Excellent option. Probably as good, if not better, than a Doom Priest. So definitely a champion you're going to want to bring in there. Let's go ahead and take a look in Arena now. This is where I think we're going to see a lot of him. Not all over the place, but my guess is for a lot of Gold 4 teams, this could be an excellent option as far as a champion to bring in there. I mean, the truth of the matter is we don't need Arbiter with this. The reason why we have Arbiter is for the speed aura. That's really the reason. So we get the turn meter boost and the increased attack. We're going to get the speed and all the protection. He's actually slower than our Trunda, so it kind of makes some of this moot. And then right here, We can get a turn meter boost. This is the one he's going to prioritize. I would personally use this skill here and cleanses, but let's see what one he uses. He does use the cleanse. That's interesting. He used the cleanse right there. So some smarter AI for Arena than I was expecting, actually. That's a really nice bonus skill right there. Could be very good like on a defensive team, being able to cleanse. Well, that's just weird now. It's very unpredictable what's going on here. I think that's kind of important to know. Like, why, when are we using certain skills and why? What's the AI priority? And it might be something that's different depending on what part of the game you're in, which I think could be also really interesting. So this could be interesting. This is going to be a harder battle. I don't know that we're going to win this, but I don't know that we need to. So we got the speed boost there, turn meter boost there. There goes Trunda. And all the debuffs are blocked, so he's going to go ahead and use the turn meter boost there. No debuffs on any of our champions. Easy peasy. It's a very interesting... That was an interesting moment right there. So figuring out what the priorities of these skills are is really important to being able to best utilize these champions. And I'm not sure at this point. I don't know what the priority there is with those skills. Alright, we got the block debuffs out, so nobody needs any healing. He's going to prioritize the increased speed boost. Predictable, but good predictable. That's what we want. So there was a resist. He does need accuracy for that leech, for sure. But it's kind of a bonus skill for Arena, right? Now I'm curious of how he's going to play in Clan Boss, honestly. My guess is he's still going to prioritize the increased speed buff and the increased attack buff. But it could be a little bit more complicated than that. It could be a thing where if there's debuffs, he'll end up prioritizing the debuffs. So these are things that, you know, obviously we'd have to really analyze and pay attention to really figure out, you know, why certain skills are being used the way they are. So we're going to basically do a double booster with Arbiter and then Durzdak. So we'll let Arbiter go first. Cool. She can debuff them. Let's go ahead and just take out Sir Nick. Or try to. I want to see what they're going to do to us. I want to see if we can get some debuffs, get some hurt. Alright, this is a perfect example, right? Are we going to speed boost or are we going to heal? My guess is we're going to heal. And we do. We cleanse, we heal. She brings back Madame Ceres. So the turn meter boost isn't prioritized all the time. And it might also be that you just need a champion under 50% HP. A lot of times that's the threshold there. Okay, this is a perfect opportunity, guys. We're going to see exactly how his skills work here against another spider. You know, like obviously we just want to get through this part of it. So let me get through this. Let's get to the nether spider and we'll come back. Okay guys, here we are back at the nether spider. Now the reason why I want to come here is because, look, we're all going to be debuffed right from the start, but nobody's going to be below 50% health. This is going to give us a perfect example of what's going to be prioritized. Now in order to make this work, I have to make sure I'm using the right skills here. So I'm going to manual into this, right? So Sify shouldn't have any effect, right? With the buffs that she's putting on, none of them are increased defense. None of them are turn meter boosts. We do have, obviously, Arbiter's mirrors what Durzdak does. So I'm not going to use Arbiter's skill right here. I'm just going to use the other turn meter boost just so we can kind of keep going faster. Now it's Durzdak's turn. Nobody's under 50% HP. Are we going to prioritize the cleanse? Or are we going to prioritize the increased attack and turn meter boost? Does prioritize the cleanse. So that's really interesting. Having the cleanse prioritized makes Runekeeper a little more interesting when it comes to Clan Boss, because we got to know which skills prioritize. So I think with that I might have to take Durzdak into Clan Boss and see which one is getting used. I think that might have to happen now. Alright, so we reduced the speed to 178, just changing out the banner. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Should be right there on the edge. Now, this is a double man-eater team. So it is going to be a little bit tricky making sure that we have all the speeds and everything at the right spot. Should be fine. I don't anticipate any issues with it. And obviously setting it up shouldn't be too hard. But that's kind of the only thing we're going to have to be kind of a little bit concerned about going into it. We're going to go ahead and take out Vizier, and we'll bring Durzdak. Not like my favorite choice, obviously, but I think it'll at least give us an idea. Now, Durzdak does bring in a Terminator boost, so this team's going to be completely out of whack regardless. But at least we'll kind of have a regular flow to it, so we can kind of get an idea of how it works. I realize now I probably didn't need to change anything because he's going to be completely out of tune with everybody else. That's fine. What I want to see, and basically what we're going to do is A1 all the way up into the stun, as I want to see what Durzdak does when the stun comes up. I want to see what Durzdak does when the poisons come up. What is he prioritizing? Where is he using those skills? I think that's going to be the most important question going forward, using them for clan boss here. So we are facing red affinity. That means there is going to be a debuff place. So one of the questions is, what's going to be the priority as far as like healing and stuff goes? Everybody's still well over 50% HP, so that's great. We do have debuffs on, so this is a good opportunity. Let's see. Are we going to prioritize the cleanse and the heal, or the increase attack and turn meter boost? Increase attack and turn meter boost apparently gets the priority there, which I think is very interesting. It's kind of an unusual... It didn't line up with what we were doing in other areas of the game, and it might have to do with the amount of debuffs, right? So that's definitely something to keep in mind. These things aren't always static. As far as like when they're being used, it could be if there's 2 or more debuffs on champions, or a total of 10 debuffs overall, or whatever. And so it's going to take some experimentation to really figure that out. Thankfully, the clan boss is only placing 1 debuff at a time, so it's not too inconceivable that that increased speed and increased attack buff is going to be the prioritized one. It also could be, once we get under 50% HP, that the HP one gets priority. So we don't have it off cooldown yet, so that's one reason why she didn't use it there, or he didn't use it there. So you can see here, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to save it for a little bit. Let's see what kind of comes up, and we'll wait till we get a little bit lower in health, and wait till we get a little bit closer to you know, to see where the stun is and where things come about. So we'll try it again. We'll do this experiment one more time here. So far so good. Well, you can see the heal what happened right there. That was easily the prioritized skill. We had both of them off cooldown. Did do the heal as opposed to the turn meter boost. So that is unfortunate. So let's auto again for a little bit here. See where we get to. Yeah, so we had this available. Not my favorite answer to that question. What it means is that tuning is going to be pretty close to impossible, because you got to really know when those abilities are happening. Now, doesn't mean it is impossible, especially if you run a man-eater team like this. You know, you just need a manual so everybody's at a certain HP level, or just manual so that always cleansing off the stun, running at a 4-3 ratio, the skills are only going to come up so often. So that's definitely one approach to it. You just won't be able to auto right away. It'll take a little bit longer to get there. That's really what that means. So there's certainly some possibilities and easy ways to make it work, but that is going to be the question mark, right? What is going to be the way to make that work? And everybody here dies pretty much, and going to prioritize the heal, even though he has both available. Yep. At that level, it's definitely going to prioritize the healing. All right, guys, there you go. That's the Runekeeper Durzdak, the Runekeeper Durzdak, I guess is how you phrase it. Very interesting champion. I think he's going to be excellent in Arena. I think he's going to be really good in dungeons. Useful in pretty much all of them, honestly, because they all have some kind of debuff. So being able to cleanse those, I think, is really nice. The turn meter boost, increased attack, all that stuff is really beneficial for you. I think he's going to make a great pairing with Ultimate Gaelic and Spiders, as a matter of fact. Now, the difficulty comes in Clan Boss. I was really hoping we'd be able to use him for that, but considering the prioritization with the healing, I'm not even disagreeing with how that's implemented. I just know that that's not something that's tunable for Clan Boss, because it's dependent on the amount of HP you have. Now, I say not tunable, that's probably inaccurate. Difficult to tune is a better way to phrase it, because that healing is going to come if we're under 50% HP is going to be the main instigator of that. It seems like when we were in Doom Tower, it seems like if there's enough debuffs, we'll prioritize cleansing that. And it seemed like in Arena, as long as you're above 50% HP, the turn meter is going to get prioritized, and that seems to be the case here with Clan Boss as well. Once we got low on HP, then all of a sudden it became a thing where we're going to heal first, turn meter boost second. So keeping those things in mind lets you know how to tune it. You know, if you're running a man-eater team or some kind of unkillable where everybody's health is dropping low, you're going to have to manual until he starts using that heal on auto, right? If you're going to be using him in some kind of like block damage team, like with a tower or something, then we know that it's not the heal that you need to worry about. It's going to, like, you just need to time it and get it at the right spot, and then it should be able to work, right? As long as there's some debuffs out there. So that's kind of the idea, I think, there with Durzdak. Interesting champion. 4-turn cooldown on the heal and 3-turn cooldown on the turn meter boost. Very interesting. I'm actually excited to see what kind of speed tunes you guys can come up with. I don't have anything off the top of my head, and there's nothing that really comes to mind. A 3-turn cooldown with a speed turn meter boost is pretty hard to tune with because of the speeds needed to make something reliable. So I don't know. I don't know exactly where this champion's going to lie for me. Not sure where he's going to lie for you, but I'm actually pretty excited to hear what you guys are going to be coming up with. The Leech does make it nice for Clan Boss. I think really good in Arena, really good in Dungeons, though. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you liked it, hit that subscription button and the like. Make sure to check out my Game On account. I have done a bunch of different videos on all these new champions, so you can see what I actually thought about Runekeeper Durzdak before I even did a video on him, and compare the two. So it's a nice little thing, and you can kind of preview some of the other champions I'll be covering later on as well. So yeah, this was fun and enjoyable. Hopefully you guys had a good time, and until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.